Hello, people of the world of YouTube video watchings. Welcome to another Celica video. Warning, if you have a weak stomach and you don't want to see a 1974 Toyota Celica get cut up, I'm going to instead refer you to the link up above my head to a delicious recipe for succulent and mushroom popsicles.
That doesn't sound good at all. No.
I'm a little sad to have to do this, but I'm also excited to do this because it's period correct. I don't feel bad about drilling holes because someone drilled holes to put those giant string cheeses on this car, so I think that's it. Obviously, I'm gonna have a rubber gasket in between here and I'll probably shave a little bit right there. My game plan is to make these things completely removable and replaceable in case they ever get damaged. That looks dead center right there. I'm gonna do an 1/8 inch pilot hole just as a starter. The hardware is a lot bigger than 1/8 inch, but mildly nerve-wracking because it wants to wander a little bit, so I gotta like compensate in the initial part of the drill. Last one. All right. Oh no, I'm ruining the paint. Man, I really taped this thing on there. Time to tape the shit out of these. This side's even trickier because not only do I have to make sure it fits visually on the car, but I also have to measure to make sure it's the same as the other while still fitting. There's crotches behind me right now, isn't there? That took a good part of a day to do, but it's all marked out. I got a hair stuck to that. Now it's time to drill out my flares. You know what? I think this is the wrong type of drill bit for this. Yeah. Well, I just learned the hard way why you don't drill pilot holes in fiberglass, because that happens. So now, I gotta figure out a way to make these holes their correct size larger without using a drill bit. I'm thinking a Dremel bit, because then it will sand the fiberglass into the correct diameter. Can you put a Dremel bit in a drill? I don't think that's gonna work. Maybe it'll work. Perfect. Oh, that makes a nice hole. I think the smartest thing to do is to start here, put the nut-cert in, and work my way outward because the flare is gonna start to mold and shape and do weird things with the flare. I kept it tight when I made these holes. You know what? I'm just gonna make some holes and then you'll understand once I make holes. Okay, these are stainless steel thread certs. And I'm going to use these, that way their flares are removable. You can take them off if they get damaged or if you damage them before you even get to put them on. We use these things all the time in the Air Force on ground support equipment panels. And ever since I got out, I've been obsessed with them. I love these little things. I have a cheap gun though. I don't know if I trust this gun. This gun sucks. All right, hopefully this gun doesn't fail me. Pretty good right there. I think I like it. The reason why I'm doing this before doing any body working is because the act of squeezing that thing together starts to ripple and contort the metal around the nut-cert. Watch the light around it. You can see it kind of warps the metal. It kind of dents it outward and inward around the edges. Kind of like a butthole. It's actually exactly like a butthole. It's like the skin around your butthole if you were to Botox that to make it completely... I'm gonna shut up.
I don't know what to say.
My colony is doing well. Hello. Hello, Aunt. Welcome to the following day. back to work. I have to go really soft pressure-wise because if I put too much pressure, there's a chance the bit will catch the metal and then wrinkle it all up. There we go, it's nice and tight. Thanks. Perfect. That one came out real good. Exciting. I don't know why I just ran like Goku. I'm gonna do the first top 3. Keep in mind I don't have the rubber gasket behind the flare, nor do I have little individual rubber gaskets on each one of the bolts, which I'm gonna do. So it's not gonna be super tight against the panel yet. Since drill bits are stupid tools, they're self-centered, I have to, I'm just gonna do it. So right now I'm teaching Angel how to use the nutsert gun. It's a lot harder to do than it looks, isn't it?
Yeah, I keep moving around.
Something that looks super low threat, super easy to do, you're like, oh, I can do that, that's no problem. And then you don't realize how much actual finesse and skill it takes to get those things perfectly seated.
Yeah, I definitely thought this was gonna be easier, but it keeps moving.
Because it's so easy when you're squeezing it for the metal, it almost like liquefies the metal, like it wants to come out where it's not supposed to. And like when you're squeezing it, it's kind of like breaking free a bolt. You have the inherent nature to want to pull down with your arm, which will pull the top out just slightly. There's that thin line between having your bubble on the backside too sharp, which then it starts to throw the threads out of whack, or you could end up ruining the thing completely, or not having enough bubble, and then later when you try to tighten hardware, it just ends up spinning inside the panel. Well, let's inspect Angel's bubble. It's not bad. I mean, this is the second one ever you've ever really done, so. For the ones that I can't see the back side of the panel, what I can do is I take the tool out and you can see the bubble. There should be a little like groove right here, and also how far away the threads are is how far you know the bubble is made. So this sucks. The string cheese molding that used to be on here is super close to that hole for the flare. That's gotta get welded before I can get a nutsert. So gotta prep this area. I'm gonna darken this for you guys so it doesn't hurt your eyes. I don't think that actually works. Angel weld cake. Go magic, turn it. Ta-da! It's time! Over there, there's a wild angel preparation cake. Your angel preparation cake! You're like the stuff people wipe on their buttholes when it itches.
No!
Aside from the lower front holes, which I didn't do just because I want to bodywork the car before I attach that there, just in case I have to sand it vigorously, these are ready. In this shot, you can really see just how poor the paint quality is on this thing now. That's why it's all getting repainted. Factory color, I keep getting asked. This is the factory color. It's staying this color. This color is sick. Day number 3. It's time for a scalpel. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but there's gonna be so much body work on this paint job. This thing, it looks like golf balls were swung at it. So there are multiple different tools I could use to cut this. I'm gonna use this little 3-inch mini air cutoff wheel. I have a larger electric one, it's a 6-inch, but I think this will work good because I can essentially draw a nice curve with a smaller wheel like that. There's also a little, like, miniature air Sawzall thing I have, but that sucks. I'll wear this thing so I don't get shit in my hair and it'll breathe clean. nice pretty cut. I went over it with a finger sander to try to smooth and even things out. You can see at the top where I got the paint really hot, the paint started to bubble right there. You can see the red oxide primer underneath it. I'm gonna fix that one where I cracked it right there with some resin. That'll be easy to fix though. We'll fit a meaty ass tire under there now.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, that'll look good when it's got the rubber trim in there. And then obviously that piece fits back in where it should be. It's not even affected by any of this. This is the one that makes me a bit nervous to have to do. This is a little bit harder. Because the fuel filler neck, it makes me so nervous.
Yeah.
I'll start cutting. You see sparks.
Okay.
A lot of sparks in there. Too harsh in my assessment of this body saw. It actually works really good. I'm contemplating doing the other side, the arches with it now. I don't know if this relays on camera or not, but this is a shit ton of work. It's really hard for me to squeeze this all in one video. I'm trying my ass off. Use the whistle biscuit just to clean up the edge right here where it needs to be welded. I might not be able to do everything because I don't want to hit these. These will just destroy the whistle biscuit. One thing I kind of screwed up on is I should have cleaned the back side of this first before I filleted it. But in my head, I didn't want to do that because I wanted to keep primer on here to keep it from rusting when it's all welded up. But that's pointless because it's going to burn off anyway when it welds. So I guess I'll do it different on the other side. So now that each one of these little fingers is sanded, I hope I'm not yelling because I have earplugs in. They're fresh and clean, so that way this can get bent up and have a nice clean weld. Drag the floor Jackie Burkhart over here. That 70s show.
Oh, Jackie.
Yeah.
Floor Jackie Burkhart.
I'm gonna go up. It's probably gonna catch two at a time. I was trying to make this as wide as a board. Yeah. So using the board like this keeps that sheet metal nice and flat along with the roof of the inner wheel well. That way it's nice and clean and properly done behind the flare. Ah, I got my own welding helmet now, thanks to one of you, the viewers. So now, I don't have to borrow Angel's. Oh, this thing is sick. I forgot to wear welding clothes. So I bit off more than I could chew. I thought I could do this entire process in one video. If I wasn't filming it, I could probably have done it already. But making a video while doing this. So in the next video, I will finish up these flares, weld everything up, mount the flare, but also I have the painstaking task of all of these little holes where the rub strip was all the way down the car that need to get welded up, as well as test fit some other goodies. Before I start the body working process. Okay, I'll see you soon with another video. Thank you for watching. Bye.